Welcome, everybody. Episode 18 Talks for the People. This week, we're going to go over some of our favorite quotes right after Burns. Then we're going to play a game with Cody. Cody thinks he has some jokes that can break these stone faces. You laugh, you lose. Me versus Steven. Cody in the driver's seat. Then we're going to do some other stuff. Steven's got another story for us. We're going to talk about cartoons that are made for adults. And we might dabble in some other stuff tonight, like stereotypes by state. We'll see where it goes. Burns my biscuits. Steven, what's going on tonight?
It's a good night. It's a good night. Happy to be here. Happy to be here. Happy to be with y'all. Good news. Um, but everything's good. Nothing really burning me up today. The biscuits were burned last week. Actually, no. I do have something that burns my biscuits. I take that back. You know what burns my biscuits? Sorry ass, weak ass chips. When you go to dip and that thing breaks, it's agitating as fuck. Like you're like, oh yeah, this is good, and then you freaking have to get in the dip. Like, come on, man, cut the potatoes a little bit thicker. Give me a
Hey,
chip dip.
hey, Cody. I don't know about you, but the main time I have that problem is when I'm eating Lay's.
Yes, very much so.
I see where this is going.
I've never had that problem with Golden Flake chips.
Nope, Golden Flake is strong like new, baby.
That's because it's not real food. It's great value. So
All right, when you brought this up, I thought you were referring to like Mexican chips, tortilla chips.
because
And I solely judge Mexican places on their chips and dip. And I
so
like a thick chip.
what do you mean? Why would they be weak?
Cause you go to some Mexican places and the chips are really thin, and they break off in the salsa bowl or the queso bowl. I like
Like
a
a
good
Kit Kat
thick chip,
bar?
huh?
They break off like a Kit Kat bar?
They break off like a Lay's potato chip.
Well, still tastes better than those cardboard great value chips y'all eat.
They probably go real good with that chick beer.
For the viewers, I need a poll right now. Lay's or what is that great value crap y'all eat? Golden Flake. Lay's or Golden Flake? Let us know in the comments if you like Lay's better or Golden Flake.
I can make this happen. I can put a clickable link in the description where we can take a poll.
Do it.
Should
Let
we
me
be,
write myself a reminder.
it would be more specific on the type of chip or just in general?
Well, nobody eats that barbecue ice cream bullshit you do, okay?
Fuck you and your high horse.
No, look, we'll put Lay's versus Golden Flake, two options. If you prefer something else, that doesn't count. We don't care which which one of these two
Yeah.
brands do you prefer? That's what we're trying to figure out. Lay's or Golden Flake. I don't care if you live in Taiwan and have some special kind of chip you enjoy better. Lay's versus Golden Flake.
Yep. Good versus evil.
Well, it's 2-1 right now, so you're going down, dude.
Well,
Just
you
like your
also eat at
Tigers this year.
McDonald's, so that doesn't tell me much.
Do you have anything else to add on it, or is
No,
that
I
your
just,
rant?
I just, I was. So I had an opportunity to sit and relax this weekend, and what's more relaxing than eating chips and dip and watching TV? And my relaxation was ruined with freaking chips that were just in the freaking dip. So I might as well have just taken a spoon, dipped it out, and crunched them all over the top and ate it like that.
Well, what kind of dip was you using?
I believe it was French onion. Haha.
Maybe it was bad.
Uh.
No, I'll take that back. There's nothing wrong with the dip. It was your chips.
Yeah. It was
Wait a
definitely the Lay's chips.
All right. So this week, y'all get ready for this. I got 3 this week.
God.
I I am one aggravated feller this week. So let's start with the most recent one, which was this afternoon when I was going to pick up dinner. I'm going down the road, 4-lane highway
Somebody's in the median.
with a turning lane. I get in the turning lane to turn into the barbecue place to pick up dinner, and I look ahead, and there's a lot of traffic, so I'm having to wait. There's this guy on a bicycle, and he's coming down the 4-lane highway, like in the left lane, riding his bicycle, holding up traffic. Then he gets over into the turning lane to get out of the way, and he's blocking people that's trying to turn left onto the street. He's in their way now. He's headed toward me. He goes around me and gives me the dirty look like I'm in the fucking way. And all this time there is a sidewalk over there he could be on, but he chooses to ride in the road. So cyclists, kiss my ass. If there is a sidewalk, get your ass on it. You don't own the fucking road. Put a motor on that damn thing.
So
Dude, that's what
I hate
the sidewalks are for.
combatant
Exactly.
here, but actually, legally speaking, the cyclist should be in the street.
Why?
Unless there is a bike path, in which case
Sidewalk.
they're supposed to use the sidewalk is for walking only.
He's
That's
supposed
why
to
they
be on the yellow line, though, or the white line. He's supposed to be on the edge of the road.
No. They can legally be on the road, which is why they have left turn, stop, right turn. So they actually have signals to just like a turn signals on a car. So, and the only reason I know this is because I trained for a triathlon, and when I did, I had to cycle 10, 15 miles at a time, and there's only so much bike path to go on. So there's a lot of spaces where they don't have sidewalks to walk on or use a bike if you wanted to. And there's a lot of roads that don't have bike paths. So when that happens, now, and granted, I mean, this guy, if there's nobody on the sidewalk, why not? But legally speaking, they prefer them bikers, cyclists to use road over sidewalk.
Well, there's also certain roads that have a minimum speed posted. So unless he can pedal at 45 miles an hour, he deserves to get a ticket. Because that is a minimum speed on an interstate is 45.
Well,
So if you are using the road, if you're using the preferred method and using the road, you have to obey all road laws.
Yes and no.
You
Because he
can't
doesn't
be on the interstate making 65 mile an hour cars
But-
do 15 miles an hour.
No. So that's the thing. There are specific they're not allowed to ride on a road of a certain like for example, it's illegal for cyclists to be on the interstate riding in the street. They can't do that. And if you have roads in your inner city that are 45 plus, you're not supposed to be on those either. So there are rules that minimize them from doing stupid shit like getting on the interstate and trying to block traffic. So I don't know what the speed limit was on your road, but it's pretty much anything under 45. They recommend road over sidewalk as long as there's not a bike lane.
Well, it's a major highway. It runs from Mississippi to Georgia.
So it's probably at least 45 to 55. So he shouldn't have been out there. He was a douche canoe.
And it happened to me probably 3 or 4 weeks ago. The same thing on a different road, but perfectly good sidewalk. And when I got to him, I thought, well, okay, there was a few openings coming up to get onto the sidewalk from the road. You know, it makes a path you can get on it.
Mm-hmm.
No, he skips those. And I'm like, and I was giving him the benefit of the doubt, like he's going to get on one of those in a second. No, he just kept going down the road.
I don't think anybody would blame you if you just kind of nudged his back tire a little.
Get in front of him and brake check him.
Honestly, if you're on a bike, you really just have to get close. Sometimes the wind will just like, oh.
Now, I'm pretty sure if I got right up behind him and laid on the horn, it'd scare the hell out of him.
You'd see a little
Or,
lump show up in his pants.
And
or
you have a movement on the hood of your car.
if I trusted myself enough, like just go really fast at him and slam on the brakes behind him, lock the tires up. I can see him shitting himself then too. Anyway, so then the second one I had was just McDonald's in general. I hope they burn in hell. Third one is this isn't really a rant, but it's kind of a funny thing, and I was wondering if y'all had the same things happen. To me, timing of certain things is really funny. So, like, I'll give you some examples. My wife works at night, so she leaves late afternoon to go into work, and most days she doesn't call. And most days I'm not doing anything. I'm watching TV or playing guitar or whatever. But if I go to my parents' house to visit, you can guarantee every time I go over there, she calls. And I'm gonna answer. It's not that it's aggravating or anything. It's if she may have car trouble or whatever. It's just funny that if I'm sitting at home not doing anything, I get no calls. But if I go to do something or in the middle of something, I'll get a call every time. And it's really funny how things work out that way. And it probably works. It probably all equals out. You just don't notice it. But for me, it's extremely funny. Or, you know, my brother and me usually talk once a week or so on the way home and on the phone. And it never fails. It'll be a day that, like, I've had a really bad day, like the worst day of the week I've had. I just want to get in my car, put music on, and just chill out on the way home. And as soon as I get in the car and I get the music, I get about a minute into the song, my brother calls. So, you know, I mean, I'll always talk to my brother. I love him, but it's just funny, you know. It's just the way things work out. Like on days I have great days, and I don't even want to listen to the radio on the way home. He won't, you know, nobody will call me, but
It's almost like the old sayings where they talk about, like, if your ears are red, somebody's talking about you. Or if your nose is itchy, somebody's thinking about you. You ever heard that before?
yeah.
Yeah, it's almost like that. Like, so your wife's at work, and all of a sudden she gets this itch in the back of her head. She's like, I should call him today. And you're like, of course.
Do y'all have does that ever happen to you guys, or is that just something I think about a lot, or happens to me a lot?
No, it happens to me, but it's just, I mean, it's the same type of thing. Like, I could be sitting there on the couch just watching YouTube all day, and finally I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go play video games. I come in here, I sit down, I turn on. As soon as I open the game, hey babe, can you put the clothes in the dryer? Hey, can you make sure this is done? Hey, can you do this before I get home? I was sitting out there for 2 hours. The second I open up my game to start playing, I start getting all these messages. Yeah, I know, exactly.
Just to clarify, like Cody did a second ago, it's not the interruption, it's the timing of it that we're talking about. So it's not like an inconvenience to our lives. Like, it's not like that. It's like, it just so happens that I was sitting here doing this for 2 hours, and all of a sudden, I'm like, okay, I'm going to do something. Okay, well, I guess I'm doing that now instead.
Right.
Yep.
Pretty much.
The timing is so weird.
All right, we ready to move on?
Yeah, I'll take my piece.
You don't have a third
All right.
one, Cody?
That was his
I
third
had
one.
3. The second one was McDonald's.
Oh yeah, they're trash.
All right. All right. I think Steven put this one in. We're gonna go over a few of our favorite quotes. I know he mentioned from movies or from life. I think I will. I think I'll go ahead and go first on this one because there really is only one quote that has stuck with me for years, and it really like whenever I want to accomplish something, I try to remember. I try to remember this quote. Uh, it's a long one, so I had to write it down. But it's a quote from Steve Jobs from one of the graduation commencement speeches he gave. I believe it was at Stanford. It says, "Here's to the crazy ones, the misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers, the round pegs in the square holes, the ones who see things differently. They're not fond of the rules and they have no respect for the status quo. You can quote them, disagree with them, glorify or vilify them, but the only thing you can't do is ignore them because they change things. They push the human race forward, and while some may see them as the crazy ones, we see genius because the people who are crazy enough to think that they can change the world are the ones that do."
Bravo, bravo. That's a good one. I like
Yeah,
it.
I like it.
So, what? This first one I have is from a movie, Alien versus Predator, and just to kind of stage the setting, this they're getting ready to load out, and they don't expect trouble, but somebody's putting a pistol in their holster, and they're like, "What is that for?" And their response was, "The same reason you keep a condom on you, because I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it." And you can use that in so many different scenarios in life. Like I keep a pocket knife on me at all times, and you know what? I'll probably use that pocket knife at work out of the past like 2 years twice. But when I needed it, yo, that pocket knife was sitting in my pocket and it was fantastic to have, you know? So it's neat that such a simple phrase, I'd rather have it and not need it and not have it, speaks volumes to pretty much anything you do, being and it's almost like a tribute to being prepared, right? You can never
Right.
be too prepared. And then there's a couple more. Of course, I'm drawing a blank right now. Do you have any, Cody, right now?
Yeah, I got a few.
Yeah, go ahead and list yours off. I like my typing earlier.
One is not really inspirational or anything. It's just something I've always, as a phrase I always liked, and it's from the Aristocats, and it's when the two dogs are are talking um, by the haystack, and I can't remember which part of what exactly is going on at this part because they're in there a couple of different times. But anyway, the bigger dog says, "Aw shucks, Napoleon, it's nothing but a little old cricket bug."
Yes.
Oh, I like that one. And gosh, I don't know. I'll tell you something. It's not really a quote, but when I heard it, I've always thought it makes a lot of sense. So I had to go to this conference a few years ago and had a motivational speaker, and it was a business conference. And so he was talking about how you treat your employees and things like that. And the best point this guy made, and he was actually an NBA player, retired. I can't remember his name now. I have it wrote down at work. I can tell you guys sometime if y'all want to know his name. But anyway, he said to always, or employers don't spend enough time telling their employees what they're doing right. They're always tell them what they're doing wrong.
Yep.
And that's always stuck with me. And now that I've been in kind of leadership role for the last several years, I always try to keep that in mind because it makes a lot of sense because you never hear, you hardly ever hear, man, you did a really good job on that.
Right.
But you always hear, man, you screwed that up. Or,
Accurate.
yeah. So and I probably don't do a good job of it either. But that's always in the back of my head. I always try to think to at least tell people if they did something really good or
That's
something
so
like
funny
that.
because I actually use that with my soccer team. When they have their heads down, I'm like, look, you have to understand that you know it's highlighted because it's out of your character, right? So you personally feel that you make that mistake and you want to beat yourself up about it, but why don't you lift your head up and look at the 98 things you did right before that 99th time happened? I mean, you made two great passes, you made one good strike, you scored a goal, and then you turn around and you made one mistake. Now mistakes happen, but you can't focus on the one. You have to focus on the positives to lead you forward. So it's so funny you bring that up because I constantly tell my players, I'm like, look, the hardest part about playing a sport and being competitive is that you can't dwell on the mistakes because those are the ones that are highlighted, but that doesn't define you.
Right.
Yep, makes a lot of sense.
I
Yeah,
mean,
no.
we could always go with a classic movie quote, get a little comedy in here, you know. That's what I like about them high school girls, man. I get older, they stay the same age.
Yeah, Matthew McConaughey. Well, that's all right.
Hey, I had a buddy that one of my favorite things. Well, he had a lot of stuff he would say, but one of my favorites he had was somebody asked him what his type was, and he'd say 18 to 90, blind, crippled, or crazy.
Yes.
That's excellent.
Oh
So
gosh.
another thing that I use pretty frequently is practice. So there's the I guess you can call it a famous quote: "Practice makes perfect." Hate hate that quote. Can't stand it. That is the most incorrect thing I've ever heard in my life. I tell my players and I tell people when they use that phrase, practice does not make perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect. If you practice wrong, you're going to continuously do it wrong. If you practice it to perfection, then your perfect practice makes perfect. But if you continuously practicing the wrong way for whatever task that you're doing, doesn't do any good. So I always make sure that when people use that phrase, put perfect at the beginning of it. Perfect practice makes perfect. That's the way it should be because you can practice one thing a million times, but if you're practicing a golf swing and you constantly dropping your shoulder, guess what? You're going to constantly do it every time you go up there and do that. If you don't practice it right, then your practice is a waste of time. So I love
Absolutely.
that one. And then there's an old movie called The Wind and the Lion. It was when Sean Connery was like 20. Dude
Damn.
was super young. And at the end of the movie, he had a prisoner all movie, but at the end of the movie, he released them, and they had gold and all this stuff that could have happened. But when he released his prisoner, he lost everything. And one of his henchmen or side characters looked at him and said, "Hey, we've lost everything. All is drifting in the wind, just as you said." And his one response was, "Is there not one thing in your life worth losing everything for?" And that's something that I know my father. Shout out to my dad. Uh, we always appreciate that quote because we typically we think about our family, and I know not everybody's great with extended family and whatnot, but at least my wife, my child, that one thing always vibrates. If there's ever a tough situation or something that I'm battling, like I want this, I want that, but I can't do both. That always hits me and says, is there not one thing in my life worth losing everything for? And at some points, I'm just like, well, I have my answer. I mean, that right there gives me my answer because them is what it's for. And if I can't do it, then I sacrifice it. It's I've always loved that quote. Wind in the Lion. If you get a chance to watch it, it's great. It's an older movie. It's kind of like Saudi Arabia type thing in the desert, but it's a good movie. Sean Connery, of course, you can't go wrong with Sean Connery.
They're coming to get you, Cody.
Huh?
They're coming to get you.
Are they?
Are those not sirens I hear?
That's my dog snoring.
I thought I heard sirens.
I keep looking over to make sure he's okay. I'm telling you, this dog has some serious breathing issues.
All right, we done with
Yep.
quotes.
That's all
All
my
right,
quotes, right?
all right. It's time, Cody. Let's see if you can
All right,
crack
so
us.
let me ask you this.
Hold on, are we starting?
Do you count? No. Do you count a smile? If you break a smile, does that count as a laugh?
I
We
don't
need
think
to know
so.
this beforehand.
I think it has to be vocal.
Has to be an exhale of it, like Alan is right now, like a shake.
If you're
Yes.
okay.
Because we also got to remember this is audio as well. So
Okay, yeah. So
if you laugh, just go ahead and laugh. Like that way we know it's a laugh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. What you got for us?
It's gonna be so much fun.
I hope they're as dumb as my dad calendar.
This is so stupid. Okay, here we go. Y'all got your game faces on? I'm gonna keep score. Although this is like whose line is it anyway? The score doesn't matter. Just for bragging rights. Oh, Alan's got one. No, I'm just kidding. All right,
This
here
is
we go.
gonna be horrible.
How do you catch a unique rabbit? Unique up on it.
God, I'm already.
Alan's got a one.
Already. I knew the answer to that one. I've heard that one. Oh.
How do you? All right, y'all.
That's so fucking
How do you catch a tame rabbit? The tame way. Unique up on it.
I'm horrible at this game because it's so much. Because look, I'm just imagining you saying this with a lisp. And so here's how. Hold on, pause the game. Here's how my head works. Like I imagine you saying that with a lisp. So then I start thinking about things like whose bright idea was it to put an S in the word lisp?
Yeah, that's such a rude word.
And this is why I'm not playing. Because I'll laugh at every one of these.
Okay.
All right, y'all ready? If you're American when you go into the bathroom and American when you come out, what are you in the bathroom? European. Yeah.
I'm sitting here trying to bite my tongue. These are horrible.
Yeah, I almost that one almost got me. The first one got me. That one.
What did the fish say when he swam into the wall? Damn.
That's a classic.
Okay. What do you call a can opener that doesn't work? A can't opener. Oh, well, almost got Steven. He grinned. Almost got him. Did you hear about the Italian chef who died? He passed away. Pasta way.
That one's bad.
Okay.
Follow up. That's like as bad as that was. You followed up like, you get it, passed away.
I sold my vacuum the other day. All it was doing was collecting dust.
I'm laughing at Cody laughing at himself.
I didn't give. No, y'all are good. I told you, this is tough.
All it was doing was collecting.
What is Forrest Gump's?
Cody's laughing before he can even ask us the question.
Oh gosh. Okay. What is Forrest Gump's email password? Oh, this is so stupid.
How am I not supposed to laugh when you're sitting there cracking up?
Maybe I'm not the best moderator at this.
Cody is crying.
One, Forrest, one.
No, I've got the
One,
hiccups.
Forrest, one is his password. Okay. Did you hear about the guy who invented the knock knock joke? This is so hard. He won the Nobel. The Nobel. Crap.
Oh God.
Oh God, I gotta collect myself. This is bad.
Oh, you got to deliver these more with a straight face, man.
I know it's tough. All right, I'm gonna skip that one. That one's kind of long. I like elephants. Everything else is irrelevant. Okay. Two guys walk into a bar. The third guy ducks.
Steven laughed first on that one. I'm good.
All right. Oh God, this is really bad. What do you call a fake noodle? An impasta. Why does Snoop Dogg use an umbrella? Faux drizzle. So stupid. Did you hear the story about the claustrophobic astronaut? He just needed some space. Why can't a nose be 12 inches long? Because then it'd be a foot.
In my defense, I laughed at that one the first time I heard it. I've heard that one before. That's a good one.
What did the janitor say when he jumped out of the closet? Supplies! Okay.
That was good presentation, though.
That was a good one.
Why did the Indian wear a support cup? To totem pole. God, my nose is running. I don't
Mine's been stopped up and
Well,
running
there.
all day. So yeah, I'm
Okay.
snotting all over the place now.
That's stupid. I'm not going to say that one. Okay. All right. I'm going to roll these off. This is going to be several in a row. What do you call a man with no arms and no legs in a pool? Bob. What do you call a man with no arms and no legs on a wall? Art. What do you call a man with no arms and no legs by the door? Matt. What do you call a man with no arms and no legs in a pile of leaves? Russell. Well, Al was holding strong. I seen him smiling. What do you call a psychic little person who has escaped from prison? A small medium at large.
Oh God.
Oh gosh. What did the Blackbeard say when he turned 80? I'm 80. That's so stupid. I used to be addicted to the hokey pokey, but I turned myself around. I don't God, this is so bad. Rest in peace, boiled water. You will be missed. I don't trust stairs. They're always up to something. eBay is so useless. I tried to look up ladders, and all they had was 13,749 matches.
I'll give you that one. I'll give you that one.
That's a pretty good ceiling. It's not the best, but it's up there. I almost got Steve. What kind of shorts do clouds wear? Thunderwear. Did you hear about the kidnapping at school? It's okay. He woke up. The only thing flat earthers have to fear is sphere itself.
You're gonna get me every time when you make fun of stuff with a lisp.
Oh, where am I at? Where does the sheep go to get his haircut? At the Baa shop. You got out.
That one was dumb too.
I bought the newlyweds an elephant for their room. They said thank you, and I said, don't mention it. Where do you take someone who's been injured in a peekaboo accident? The I see you.
Wow. Wow.
I went to a wedding where 2 satellite dishes got married. The ceremony wasn't great, but the reception was amazing. Why is Peter Pan always flying? He never lands. Today I gave my dead batteries away. They were free of charge. Does that count?
You've got a lot of those, don't you?
Why do fish live in salt water? Pepper makes them sneeze. Someone stole my mood ring. I don't know how to feel about it. I think Steven got it first.
Oh God.
I'm terrified of elevators, so I'm going to start taking some steps to avoid them. Where do spaghetti and sauce go to dance? The meatball. Why do cow milking stools only have 3 legs? The cow's got the udder one.
I'll give you that one.
Okay. I've got 6 left, and Alan is, well, depending on how you want to look at it, he's 8 and Steven is 6. So I guess Steven's winning by 2. Everybody put your game faces on. Reset. What happens when a frog's car breaks down? It gets towed. How do you talk to Italian ghosts? With a Luigi board. That's my favorite. Oh God. My girlfriend broke up with me because I quote Linkin Park too much. But in the end, it doesn't even matter. Okay. God. What's a foot long It's slippery. A slipper. How do you fix a jack-o'-lantern? With a pumpkin patch. All right, last one. Why did Adele cross the road? To say hello from the other side.
Wow.
Okay, I think Steven won.
Hey, I got you one. You ready? Why isn't Cinderella good at sports?
Why?
She keeps running away from the ball. I thought about that one when you brought up the Peter Pan when it never lands.
Okay. So apparently I'm not good at holding in my laughs. And laughter is contagious, and I'm very susceptible to it because you were.
I'm sorry,
He's
guys.
such
I
a-
was losing it. So stupid. I felt like somebody had to laugh, so I was laughing.
All right.
Hey, but Steven finally won something.
Hey,
So, yay, Steven.
I win at Call of Duty every time we play.
That's also not true.
That's not true.
I was waiting for it. I was like, he's gonna.
Hey, let's go ahead and move on to the next topic tonight. I feel like we've covered this a lot, but we'll get more in depth specifically with cartoons for adults.
Yeah, so I was thinking about it, and something that of course, there's the adult standard. You're supposed to act and do certain things as an adult, but I feel that cartoons, and I don't necessarily mean things like Rugrats and stuff like that. I mean, you're gonna end up watching some of that stuff with your kid. But what I was really thinking about, they make adult cartoons and stuff like that, and it doesn't get to a certain age. It's like, oh, you're 40 now, you should really, you really outreached all cartoons altogether, or is that something that it's kind of like a life thing? Like you can do that for life, and nobody thinks like you won't be 80, and people are like, you watch Family Guy? Be like, hell yeah, I do. So it's like I feel that I'm curious of how y'all feel about it because I think for me, especially if they continue making shows like Big Mouth and Family Guy and Futurama, I mean, Rick and Morty is awesome, right? So, but shows like that, I feel like it doesn't matter how old you are. Hey, watch away. I'm not gonna look down on anybody like that. But do y'all feel that you get to a certain age and it's like, all right, well, Kitty Cartoons ends at like probably 15 when you want to get in high school and be cool, and then next thing you know is well, okay, well, Family Guy stuff like that step in. So that's kind of adult humor. So we can roll with that. You're still cool if you watch that, but don't watch Rugrats when you're 18. So is there a cutoff for like all cartoons altogether? Is it when is it acceptable for adults?
Absolutely no cutoff.
Thank
I
you.
mean, you got to think. You got to think of it. Think of this. Say you were 28, 29 when you discovered this when The Simpsons first came on. How old would you be now?
Oh wow, yeah, they've got about 8 years worth of episodes.
8?
No, I'm just saying like if
mean
you
like
were to watch them
consecutive,
straight,
like if you
yeah, like they've been airing for what 35, 40 years, something like that.
Getting close.
Yeah, so I mean, like, but if you were to sit down and watch them straight, you would probably be watching Simpsons for like a month straight. And I'm talking about you don't sleep, you don't eat, you just watch.
There's 32 seasons of The Simpsons. So if you had started watching it even when you were 20, like in college, new show comes out, The Simpsons, and you're watching it, you're roughly 50 years old now.
God.
You gonna quit watching new episodes just because you got old?
God, I hope not.
Look, what else you gonna do when you retire? Sit at home and scratch your balls all day on the couch? You gonna be watching cartoons?
Yeah, I remember that episode. There's a good right there.
Price is Right.
And Price is Right.
Come
Yeah.
on down.
Yeah, I was just curious about it. I didn't know if there was a certain standard. Like, and here's a good reason it kind of came up. So it's like, you know, you get to a certain age, and for us, you know, Lincoln Park and stuff like that, growing up, you know, in high school was awesome. You know, if you get caught listening to Lincoln Park around a lot of high school students, they're gonna be like,
Now
"Why are you
look,
listening to that?"
now hold on. I'm not a fan of Lincoln Park, but it's only because those kids don't have a fucking clue who they are. And that blame I put on their parents, and I put it on the youth of the day. Did not. I mean, that would be like me not having any clue who Motley Crue was.
Who's
I
that?
grew up in a different time. I know who the '80s bands are. These kids today don't care. All they care about is artists that got popular on YouTube. Like, they don't listen to. I mean, we're about to enter a generation, believe it or not, that they don't even fucking know who Justin Bieber is. I
I'm all right
mean,
with that.
I'm all right with it, but
Back on.
I respect his story. I respect how he got famous, but
Through YouTube, right?
right.
Yeah.
But
well said.
like these kids, I mean, they I guarantee you they don't know who Linkin Park is.
Yeah. Well, not just, you know, and that's why the cartoon thing came up. Because I'd imagine, you know, and hypothetically speaking, say I'm coaching soccer in 20 years, right? In 20 years, I'll be 50. If I'm sitting there with my soccer team and then, say, Family Guy hits, you know, their 40th season or whatever, if I talk about Family Guy, are they going to be like, ugh, why is he watching that? He's old. You know, does Family Guy become uncool because a 50-year-old is watching it, you know?
No, I mean that like I said that would the same, but that would be the same thing as like a 16-year-old now telling you can't watch The Simpsons. You've watched it for 30 years.
Yeah. I watched it when the graphics were terrible.
South Park
They
the same
evolved.
way.
South
Huh?
Park, yeah. How many seasons of South Park are they up to?
I'll tell
That's
you
been
what, though,
out
South
since
Park
the
hasn't
late
really
late 90s.
changed much to their graphics either, though. Simpsons, if you watch the very first episode of Simpsons and then watch a new episode, you're like, whoa, they have
South Park
redrawn.
is South Park has had 24 seasons, and I've watched. Oh God, I'm old. I've watched most of. I remember when South Park was new.
Yeah.
What is?
Well, that makes
Watching
me.
it when I shouldn't have been.
Yeah, I mean, so I was about 13 when the show came out.
No, Kitty, man, pat, pat.
How is it that most of the quoted lines, like that one, I went back and watched. You realize that you just did one of the most quoted lines from South Park is from the very first episode.
Yay! I don't know. My favorite quotes from them is Chef's dad talking about the Loch Ness monster.
Yeah.
Wow, I opened the front door and there was a little Girl Scout there. And I asked Girl Scout, what can I do for you? She said, I'll send Girl Scout cookies. We said, all right, little girl, how much are they? And that little girl, you know what she told me? She said, it'd be about $3.50. And that's when I noticed that wasn't a Girl Scout. That was a dinosaur from the Paleolithic era. It was like, goddamn, Loch Ness monster, get out my front door. You're not getting $3.50 from me. What? I gave him $3.50 the other day. Well, then a woman, that's why the Loch Ness monster keep coming back, because you gave him $3.50. I just love that episode.
You just reminded me of a joke. You just reminded me of a joke that I've got to tell Cody real quick. Cody, what concert only costs 45 cents?
I know what it is, but go ahead.
50 Cent featuring Nickelback.
Yeah. Well, you also got the the one everybody knows, the oh my God, they killed Kenny.
Right. I mean,
Guy was, you bastard. It
and
dies
then
every episode.
do y'all remember the movie? Did y'all watch the movie, the South Park movie?
Yeah.
Where
Kyle's mom. Kick that bitch.
well, I saw more along the line. Like you want to talk the Simpsons. The Simpsons have pushed the envelope a little bit. They're more on top of pop culture. But you got to remember, South Park has always pushed the limits of what they can get away with. In the movie, Satan and Hitler were lovers, and you saw them in bed together.
I feel that's a desire that most people on the planet want to see, though. Like, you know what? I would really love to see Satan really getting in Hitler's tail. You know, just really. Just,
you want to see Hitler get butt fucked by Satan?
he deserves it. I hope it's a fiery, passionate thing too.
But what if he enjoys it?
Do I?
What if he enjoys it?
Oh my! Well, that's all right. I don't know. He probably would. Creep, freaking jerk. But that makes me feel better. So I was just wondering about it because, you know, being around some of these high school students and stuff like that, coaching, I'm like, man, I wonder if I actually started talking about Peter Griffin or something like that, they would be like, no, coach. Leave that alone.
No. No, I think you're still young enough. You'd be the cool young coach that could do the voices. I think you're good.
All right.
Did we want to touch on this other story you got tonight?
We can. I mean, it's really just a simple little thing, and it's kind of cute. So it's like Coraline does cheer, and it's so amazing watching kids when they discover something new. So we're in the middle of cheer practice, and the coach tells them to go get water and whatnot, and we see all the girls huddled up together, and we're like, what are they doing? Just to find out that my child has gone through and said, hey, can y'all do this? And they were all like, what? Sorcery? How did you do that? You know, it's like, what? And it was so funny watching them because they were, you know, you're talking about 6, 7, 8-year-olds and whatnot. And it's as simple as, and you do it. But as 6, 7, 8-year-olds, she goes to show everybody, and they're like, David Blaine, what? So, it's so cute, and it was so hilarious just watching it. You know, the amusement and the amazement on little kids' faces for these simplest things is so funny to watch because you see them do something, and it's, you know, of course, like you when you have the infant that it's like got your nose, and they're like,
yeah.
Yeah.
oh no! You know, they complete panic because they really, you know, but it's like, you know, even as they get older, little silly things they do, and you're like,
I remember getting away with that with Zoe one time.
well, there's the string trick where you pull the strings back and forth. They put their hand through it, and you pull it out, and their hand's not in the string, and they're like, oh, what?
Right.
So, I wanted to share that because I thought that was so funny, and I thought about it.
They palm like a quarter or something. They get it from behind your.
Yeah, it's like
behind your ear, or the guy that can do the. I can't do it, but the where you like he takes his finger away. You know.
Yeah.
Can somebody do that?
I can't remember how to do it.
Yeah, but I remember watching that in kindergarten. You know, on our PE teacher to do that. We're like, oh my God, his finger.
Yeah, it's so funny watching kids because they are music. I mean, you got to imagine their mind hasn't seen everything that we have, so it's like something like that comes up, and the world is a whole new place, and it's so funny to watch.
There we go. All right, so I think we are gonna go ahead and call it there this week, guys. Go ahead and end this episode. Keeping these right at about an hour. Keep these nice and easy for your drive in the morning, drive in the afternoon. If you're an audio listener, not take up too much of your evening or your Sunday afternoon if you're a video listener. But listen here, I wanted to discuss something, and me and the guys have talked about it a little bit. We are nothing if not consistent Every week, we're averaging 30 to 40 views. And don't get me wrong, we're thankful for every single one of y'all that watches this. That shows us that we do have our core audience that enjoys watching this podcast, and we're thankful for each and every one of you, whether you comment or I know we push for comments a lot. Some people don't feel comfortable commenting on these videos. I get it. We appreciate you. But if there's any way you can help us spread this, let's see if we can get this a little bit better. You don't have to put it on your personal Facebook if we get too wild, if we cuss too much, find some other random Reddit page. Somewhere where you post where nobody else knows you. If you're on Reddit or a Twitter page or something like that, let's see if we can knock these views up. Let's see if we can get them up. What y'all got to say?
Well, I'll say this. I mean, we are definitely, along with that, Alan, just letting the fans know, and hopefully y'all can share this with other people, and we can get new fans out of it. But we're trying to plan more active things like the Hot Ones Challenge that we really enjoyed doing. At the time, after was kind of a butt burner, pun intended. But we plan on doing more things like that. I think we're talking about going to Buffalo Wild Wings in a few weeks or something like that to do the Buffalo Wild Wings Challenge.
Right.
And we're going to do a competition between the three of us. Beers on the loser. Whoever finishes last, the first one to finish wins, or something like that. Just something fun. So we want to keep the views up. We want to keep y'all entertained, but obviously y'all help out a lot with that. So if you think of something that you would find very entertaining, us heading to CC's and eating until we can't breathe no more, I'll do it. I mean, you don't have to convince me to do a food challenge, for sure. But anything you think of, y'all want to see us goof off and whatnot. We got a concert heading up and whatnot, so we're gonna post our fun there. So y'all get to see us cut up outside of the studio type atmosphere, and y'all get to see us have some drinks, listen to some wild music and whatnot. So we're open to anything, but y'all's interaction helps us a lot with functioning the content and molding it into something viewable for y'all to enjoy on a continuous basis. So please send us comments in and let us know. We're willing to do anything. And I guess the only thing I have left is I'll go ahead and plan on next week. I am going to be doing voices because occasionally, I don't know if y'all listen to me do stupid things, but the Peter Griffin laugh that busted out today, and I think I've done a Smeagol before, but I have a list of things that I feel I do very well, and I'd actually like y'all's input. Do I do well at them? Should I stop doing those impersonations altogether? Just listen to it, see how it is. But we're definitely going to hit up that next week. I'm going to organize that and try and throw that together so we have some different content along with the Burns Our Biscuits that we continuously do. And we'll probably have a pretty bad movie review coming up. So just stay tuned in, help us out, share the word, and give us your thoughts.
I think me and Cody should make 1 through 10 cards, and we'll rate you. We'll hold.
I love that idea. Freaking love it. Yeah, y'all do that too. Y'all
better yet, we can make pictures. Like if it was really good, we'll put like an exclamation point up. If it's really bad, we'll put up like a picture of a balls or something. Like
balls.
I forgot to tell you guys, I do have 2 comments from my parents and from my wife. And all 3 of them think that Steven is going to win the Buffalo Wild Wings Challenge. So I don't know about Alan, but that's got my competitive juices flowing, so I'm ready to dominate some wings.
I'm telling you, I'm prepared to lose based on time. I don't think the heat's going to be an issue for me. I think maintaining 30 seconds a wing is going to be where I struggle.
I mean, I'm Cajun. The heat is definitely not a thing for me.
I don't think it's the heat that's going to get to me until after the fact, because you got to eat fast. So I don't think the heat will bother me during that initial 5 minutes. I think the part that's gonna get me is maintaining 30 seconds a wing for the entire 5 minutes.
Not me. I'm just going to pull out bones.
I All right, with that, we'll go ahead and call it a close on this one. Once again, I know I went on a little bit of a rant. Each and every single one of you that listen and or watch are greatly appreciated, and we thank you so much for allowing us to do this every week. The fact that we do consistently see 30 to 40 views means that we do have people that are expecting us to put up the next episode, and that's what keeps us going. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. Peace out.
Peace out, baby.
Yeah.